is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Tuesday. Hello, everyone. We're already almost through the week, guys.
Are we?
Kind of, we are.
It's a little early.
I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
All right, we're starting today with 76-year-old Richard Dreyfuss. All right, he's in some hot water with some fans after taking part in a question and answer session before a screening of Jaws at a theater in Massachusetts. Now, video from the beginning of the event shows him coming out on stage. He's wearing a dress and shaking his butt to Taylor Swift. Okay, cool, right? He then reportedly went into a rant about transgender kids, saying parents shouldn't listen to their kids who say that they're trans. He also allegedly said women are too passive to make big movies work, and took shots at Barbra Streisand and Steven Spielberg. Some people online said that they walked out of the screening along with hundreds of others, but the video of the event at the end shows Dreyfuss getting cheered by those left in the crowd. Now, the theater that hosted the Q&A has posted an apology, saying his comments were, quote, not in line with the values of inclusivity and respect at the theater. But others are saying the media is twisting this and that Dreyfuss was just sharing opinions that someone his age may hold. Is that okay?
Well, first and foremost, let me just add additional context. Well, let me just answer your question. Is that okay? Freedom of speech, of course. But he's going to have to suffer those consequences.
Right.
Okay, I tell my children, if you do something, more than anything else, I want my children to become inclusive and kind. That's all, at the end of the day, I really care about. So if you're going to say something and there's portions of the population that are going to be offended, rightfully so, because you are coming for who they are at their true self, then that is your consequence.
Right.
Let me give you some additional context, because a lot of people were like, well, you weren't there. First of all, there's a number of accounts that are saying the same thing of people that don't know one another. So I tend to believe those accounts. Number two, we do have a history. So we have, gosh, where do I even begin? Just to paraphrase, he has said things against the Me Too movement. He has said things about how he wished he could wear blackface, how he wished he could be a black man, meaning wearing blackface as an actor, still something I don't agree with. And then his own son, Ben Dreyfuss, says, now you know why I refused to give him the password to his own Twitter account for a decade. And recently, when the Oscars decided to be more inclusive with their diversity requirements, he said, quote unquote, that makes me want to vomit. So I think this is somebody who perhaps has some bigoted viewpoints. Sure. And it's up to you as a citizen if you're offended or not. And you have every right to be offended, just like he has every right to state what he wants to state.
Should they keep inviting people of his thought process or age, or should he be held in the same standards, or should we not be hearing from these people, or is that?
I don't, well, I think that you should invite anybody, especially artists. When you invite them to basically an evening with Tori Shulman or an evening with Richard Dreyfuss, you expect to go over their catalog. You went there because you're a fan of this person's work. It means something to you. And my biggest issue is, yes, Sam, I totally agree when you start talking about, you know, you say things, you receive consequences. But that's just not the time to say things. You are there to celebrate their work. If you are there and they're going to be behind a lectern and they're going to be talking about their personal philosophies about life, that's fine. But even if you went to go hear them talk about their personal philosophies about acting, and that came in, this is not the right situation. No different than if you were going to throw out the first pitch, Erica, and they gave you the mic and you were like, I believe every American should be able to own a gun. No matter how you feel about that, it's time to throw out the first pitch. It's our time to relax and think about baseball or wherever we are, not to hear your ideologies, whether I'm pro or con, depending on what those ideologies are. It just wasn't the right time and place.
Well, I think the right time and place is so key. It's interesting to me how people have so much to say about things that don't affect them. We're talking about a Jaws screening.
I know, it's like so
where do we go from a Jaws screening to hurling insults at the LGBTQIA plus community? Like, that tells me that at the root of who you are so bothered by people being allowed to be themselves in your lifetime, where historically in your lifetime they weren't allowed to be themselves.
Right.
And that is so offensive to you that you are going to take a moment that people came out to see you.
Right.
So that's selfish in itself. Nobody asked for that. And even if people stayed, I mean, is it indicative of their indication that they wanted to be there and hear those things? Or were they like, I spent all this money to be out here, maybe got a babysitter, maybe did, you know, like, this is a whole
I want to hear about
night.
Jaws.
I want to eventually hear about Jaws. Let me listen to this.
Erica, I don't want to cut you off, but this involves you. You know what this reminds me of? Your interview with, when we interviewed the guy from Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And remember, we were ready to have a fun, goofy interview. He was like rebooting the book or whatever. And your first question, and before I think you even got out, he said, I know what a woman is, and your famous head tilt. But do you see where I'm drawing that analogy?
Well, yeah, of course, because you're like, this is what the subject matter is. So now I feel like your entire the fact that you're here at all is for nefarious purposes.
Right.
It's to push an agenda. You have a room full of people not here for that, but now that's what you're going to switch it into.
Yeah, use your platform that way. Well, we're going to need a bigger boat. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Terry Crews. He's telling us about the incredible acts of this season on AGT, and we're remembering an NBA icon.
Shout out.
Walton. Even I love Bill Walton. I know nothing about basketball. He died of colon cancer, and Dr. Coley is here to tell us the warning signs you need to know. Welcome back to DBL. That's our show. We got our very own Dr. Coley, everybody, joining us today. All right, so today we are remembering an icon of all different genres, Bill Walton. My goodness, the NBA Hall of Famer and broadcasting star died yesterday. He was only 71 years old. Walton won 2 national college championships with UCLA, Sam's alma mater, and then went on to win championships with the Portland Trail Blazers and, of course, the Boston Celtics. He also overcame a stutter to become a beloved commentator. He died following a battle with colon cancer. So Dr. Coley, we thought this is a good opportunity to talk about colon cancer and why you say screening for the disease is just so essential.
You know, more than any other cancer, colon cancer is so important to screen for. Because think about our colon. What type of organ is it? It's a hollow organ, right? I mean, it's designed to hold stool. So you can get a cancer growing in there without even having a lot of symptoms. And when you get the symptoms, which are, you know, weight loss, nausea, fullness, blood in your stool, sometimes that cancer is too late. So early detection, I think, is key because you got to look for it when it's just in the lining before it's spread. Second, you can actually prevent colon cancer because what if you have precancer polyps that get picked up on a colonoscopy, cut them out, they never turn into cancer.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I was very serious about getting screened. I can actually speak to this on 2 levels because I did the at-home Cologuard and I did the actual colonoscopy.
And Al, how old were you when you started your screening journey?
I had my colonoscopy less than a year ago, but I probably did the at-home one maybe during COVID, so maybe about 2 or 3 years ago.
No.
So I was probably about 43. About 43.
And you have a family history of colon cancer.
Yes, my grandfather passed away from colon cancer, so it's something I was very concerned with.
So especially with Black Americans, we're trying to ask the question if we should push it down even earlier, especially in those people that have a family history.
What would you recommend?
Average risk American age is 45. And I really strongly believe that you should get a colonoscopy, not necessarily look for the Cologuard, which is looking for blood in the stool, basically wiping your stool onto a card, seeing if there's blood in it. Because think about it, the cancer has to be bleeding for it to cause blood in your stool. So if it's just a small cancer, it won't necessarily show up. Yeah.
Well, they're saying that rates of colon cancer are on the rise, especially in folks 55 and under.
Yikes.
So, like, what do you attribute that to?
I mean, it's crazy. It's become the leading cause of cancer death in people under 50 in men, second leading in women. And we don't really know why this is, but we think a lot of it is lifestyle factors. So we're more sedentary, we're smoking more, we're drinking more alcohol, we're eating more processed foods, less fiber, more fat, more processed meats.
More stress.
Yeah. And so all of this we think is contributing because, you know, in terms of our risk factors, those are the ones that are manageable and controllable. We can't change our family history, we can't change our genetics, but we can change what we do. So since we know this increases colon cancer risk, everybody needs to think about working on those types of lifestyle factors.
So let's switch gears a bit because one of the most popular supplements in America are fish oil pills. But there's a new study that says that they may not be good for our health. So what exactly did the study find?
It found that if you don't have heart disease and you take fish oils, they cause harm. They're associated with an increased risk of stroke and increased risk of an arrhythmia called AFib. However, if you have heart disease, and I'm a cardiologist, I actually do write prescription fish oils, it can reduce your risk. So if you're thinking about starting fish oils because you're diabetic, you have heart disease, talk to your doctor about getting a prescription. Don't get the over-the-counter stuff.
Is high cholesterol a heart disease or no? Is that considered heart disease?
Triglycerides, which is a type of cholesterol, it's a fat, is a little marker. So it puts a little T on your chest, I say T for target, T for triglycerides. It targets you that you're going to get heart disease, so you need to talk to your doctor about reducing
her codes. I love it.
I thought it was T for Tori, and I'm all, no. Thank you so much.
Tori might have high triglycerides.
I'm actually getting tested for that too.
Are you really?
Yeah, and
That's
I also,
smart.
my grandpa died of colon cancer too, and I am also going to be going early as well. I am.
Good.
Even out of pocket, I want to do it. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Coley. DBL Nation, please follow Dr. Coley on social media at Pyle Coley MD. Also be sure to subscribe to her YouTube page. Plus check out her podcast, Heart of Medicine, wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you again. This is life-saving info for real. Coming up on DBL, we're talking with the Terry Crews about this season of America's Got Talent, plus why he's thanking Ice Cube for his career. And stick around for today's Deal Blast. We got everything from headphones to amazing hair tools.
Welcome back. He discovered acting after leaving the NFL, and now he's known for hit movies and shows like White Chicks and Everybody Hates Chris. Earlier, we caught up with Terry Crews about his career in hosting America's Got Talent. Take a look.
Please help me welcome AGT host Terry Crews.
Yes.
Yes, we love you. Yes.
All right, Terry, before we get started, I love a comeback story. You made a major comeback from depression after leaving the NFL. How did you discover your talent as an actor?
You know, by mistake. What happened is I went broke.
That'll do it.
You know, one thing, I was desperate. I was like, what am I going to do to feed my family? And a friend of mine invited me to an audition, and I had nothing to lose. You know what I mean? That was the thing. There's nothing to lose. You just feel like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to give it all I got. And it kept working. And I kept getting new stuff. And the thing I like to call it is being unembarrassable. I don't really get embarrassed. Is what I'm saying. I don't mind trying things and looking like a fool and falling down. But what happens is you get better as you keep going. And that was 25 years ago, now that I think about it.
Yeah, and here you are now. First of all, that's such a great life lesson. But I want to get into this story because this is really cool. You ran into your Friday After Next co-star Ice Cube, friend of our show, and you said to him, thank you. What exactly were you thanking him for?
For giving me my shot. You know, one thing is a lot of times people forget, you know, Ice Cube put so many careers online. Like, he put us out. You know what I mean? There's no way, I don't see another avenue that I would have had in order to be a big guy doing comedy and the whole thing. And Cube believed in me. You know what I'm saying? And it was the start of so many things. And a lot of times, I think he never got the props that he deserved.
So gracious, so humble. I love it. Okay, we got to talk about AGT because you're back for season 19, and now the show is breaking records. And I heard, you have to tell me, is there a 2-year-old on the show? And what is this 2-year-old said talent?
First of all, it blows my mind. This was a baby. I think they took the bottle out of his mouth and put him on stage. It was like, what are we watching right now? And this kid could do the most complex equations ever.
What?
And I couldn't believe it. This is let you know there's no end to human capability. I couldn't believe it. I was watching something. We were watching a real prodigy in person. What can I say? It's like you can do more than you ever thought. When I looked at this kid, I was like, oh my God, man. It took me to a whole nother thing. And I listen, it's on stage. You were gonna watch it. And you will not believe it. You'll be like, this has got to be some kind of AI trick.
You know, you're talking about this prodigy, but this season will feature some of the wildest acts ever. Explain to people, explain to us why people are talking about Howie Mandel with the plunger on his head.
Excuse
me? Walk us through that.
First of all, Howie he's going to do what he do. You know what I mean? And I have to tell you this about the judges. Everybody's at the top of their game right now. You know what I mean? When you're talking about America's Got Talent, you're talking about, you know, Howie is one of the most respected, amazing comedians ever. Heidi is still modeling and rocking and hosting. Sophia's a major superstar. Griselda was the #1 show in the whole world.
It was so good.
And then Simon Cowell is a legend. You know what I mean? So you're talking about, and then with me, I like to call it the Avengers. No, I ain't stopping either, man. I'm at the top of my game right now. You know what I'm saying? And I like to say we're like the Avengers. I'm like the Hulk. You know what I mean? And everybody else has their own superpower, you know? And it feels good. All 5 of us rocking it out. And season 19, it's the best ever. And they got 2 golden buzzers each now, which is great.
Wow.
They used to have 1, now they have 2.
I like it.
That's amazing. What's also amazing is that this is your 6th season hosting AGT, which is super impressive for any host. But what has impressed you the most of those 6 seasons that you've seen or heard or done?
You know, just watching people become household names. Yeah, I'm from Flint, Michigan, okay? I turn around, and here I am in Hollywood doing this stuff. It's a dream come true. But when I talk to these acts, no one knows who they are when they walk in. but by the end of the season, they become household names. You know what I mean? We had an act that performed with Beyonce in Dubai. They won the season 2 seasons ago, and all of a sudden, you know, you realize they're performing with Beyonce at this moment. It's so life-changing, and it's so huge. I've been everywhere around the world, and everybody knows America's Got Talent. This is the flagship.
It is. It's inspirational, and so are you. Thank you so much, Terry. DBL Nation, catch the season 19 premiere of America's Got Talent tonight on NBC. We'll be right back. Great to see you, Terry.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so
Come back
much.
soon, man.
Congrats.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back. We got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out. All right, what do you have for us today, Steph?
Hey Tori, and hello DBL Nation. We are super excited to show you everything we've got today. You're going to love it. So let's go shopping and check everything out. First up, we've got the Sunbeam Infrared No Touch Dual Use Thermometer. So this deal includes one thermometer and batteries, and this thermometer will give quick contactless forehead readings, and gentle and dependable measurements from the ear. Normally this is $30. However, we've got it for $9, which is saving 70%.
If you have a wriggling, sick infant, get this. It's $9. You'll thank me later.
And then next up, we've got the Cobalt X Audify over-ear headphones with noise reduction.
I love these.
This doorbuster deal includes one pair of headphones. We've got them in 4 colors. And we all know when we say doorbuster deal, it means they're going to fly out. So we've got a big, strong limit, 3 per customer.
These are my favorite.
This is going to be a top seller, I'm telling you. So normally these are $90.
Okay.
We've got them for $15. That's saving 83%. Now this is right up my alleyway, and trust me, I wish you could smell this because it smells heavenly. This is a 3-pack Aqua de Soy 21-ounce triple wick candles. The deal includes 3 candles available in 5 different scents. So normally these are $27 each.
Yeah, that's normal.
However, we've got a 3-pack for $29.99. That's saving 63%. And then last but not least today, we've got the Adagio California Air One Styler set. This deal includes 1 wand with 5 attachments. So normally this is $299.
No, Steph, no.
I know, but we have it for $39.99.
Yes, Steph.
That's saving 87%.
All right, guys, you know what to do. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag all these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or you could even scan the QR code right on screen to take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph. All right, we got great comments about Richard Dreyfuss. Megan wrote, this is so funny, I'm thinking he's old and has no filter. That's all she wrote.
There is definitely something to that.
There is, but I also know a lot of people of his same age that aren't inherently bigoted.
That's a
Right.
great
But I
point.
think the no filter is just like when you're just like, I'm going to say it. Like, even though there's no reason to say it, you can tell his son doesn't want him to say it. And I'm
Nobody
sure there's a
wants
lot of people. He's just like, yes, but let me just say this one thing.
Yeah.
Like granddad, and it's like, it's too late.
Too late. All right, DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.